Family, how goes it? Welcome back to Larry's Anything Goes. Hopefully, you guys are having a great and exceptional day. It is Thursday, and it's been a minute since I've done just a rant during the day and whatnot. But when you got a little extra time, especially on your lunch break, you get it done. So, here's my nerd moment for us book nerds. I'm still a little old fashioned in it, but I've been recently reading Bitcoin in Black America. All right, great book. Get it. I don't get any money off of it if you buy it. Whether it's digital or paper copy, I'm just endorsing it because it's just I'm only on page 51 yet, and I'm just mind blown because it just not only just a learning, but it really makes this book has really been making me think a lot more differently, and that's the main reason why I want to read books and be around people that vibe differently and don't come from all the same hemisphere and whatnot, because that's how you stay basic and stay in the same spot in life and whatnot, mentally, physically, and spiritually. But this one part on page 50, second paragraph stated, and I quote, because this paragraph reminds me of one of my favorite documentaries that I remember seeing like 10, 15 years ago called Bastards of the Party, talking about you had Brother Bones, who's a big member of the Bloods. I don't advocate gang banging whatsoever, but it talked about how the gang banging started from Crips and Bloods in Los Angeles, unfortunately. But it's how the gang started off as a good thing. They protected the neighborhood from African Americans who migrated from the South to South Los Angeles. They talked about how hey the gangs patrolled the neighborhoods to ensure that if anybody was trying to threaten families, women, children, etc. and so forth, that they had a protection of men to make sure that the community was safe. And then of course it turned to something negative later, unfortunately, where it's ruined hundreds of thousands of people's lives, for generations to come, even to this day. But anyways, so the paragraph says joining the Bitcoin community is a simple process. However, staying in the community requires a change in your way of thinking. Investment in traditional markets has been traditionally low among the black community, and many people missed an opportunity to invest in startups such as Google, Facebook, and Apple. This was due to the lack of education, lack of finances, or both. Never again. These two subjects should be at the forefront of our mindset going into the future. We have to put a premium on learning about finances and technology to ensure our economic survival in America. Okay? Now, that is very, very, very true. And that's the main reason why I started making content, because I noticed the conversation never really went hard in, when it comes to the African American community in politics about economics. Because let's just, let me know in the chat, let me know comment section. Where were you at in life when Google was starting up? Were you even alive? Because I know some people weren't. When Google was starting, when Facebook, I'm going to talk to just the people that were around this time frame, who were in their teens or who were in their 20s and whatnot, in their 30s, etc. People that were alive then as quote unquote adults, working adults, and people that are still alive now. Where were you at when Google and Facebook and Apple were being started? All right. Were in your family where was buying shares of stocks even a part of your conversation? That's something to really take into consideration. Was that a part of your daily conversation or weekly conversation? Doesn't even have to be daily, weekly conversations, because conversations matter. It's not just the amount of books or audio books you read, listen to. It's not the amount of degrees and certifications. It really boils down. How does one become good at something? Repetition. How do you become in shape? You got to work out. You got to drink plenty of water. You got to drink healthier drinks. You have to have a well and balanced diet and whatnot. Okay, you got to constantly educate yourself on becoming healthy, not just get stuck in a rut. Because I've been guilty of this myself. How does one enhance a career? They get educated, they get certifications, they get years of experience, they constantly engage with other people. How does one have a successful business? Same thing, repetition. Have you done your research? Have you developed a business plan? Do you have the right financing? Do you have the right capital saved? Do you have the right access to capital? Do you have the right client base? What are you doing with the money that's coming in outside of ensuring that you keep your business open, regardless if it's an online business or brick and mortar business? All these things. What kind of insurance packages do you have? All these things, you have to take into consideration. Do you have a CPA? Do you have a lawyer? All these things. And then do you constantly engage with all these things that I just like a merry-go-round? Maybe not every day, but on a weekly or monthly, yearly basis. What you do every day matters, period. So if you're just on social media searching and not doing anything outside of that, then yeah, you'll be the best social media person on the planet, but outside of that, not much is going to get done. All right. And the thing is, it's like, even if I had access to this info, not even if I was thinking about these things back in my early 20s, because I was thinking about how, getting my money right, getting my own place. I wanted to be straight. I didn't want to be a bum, because as a teenager, I saw so many people in their 20s and 30s that were bums and that were addicted to being basic. And I didn't want that. I wanted to be able to stand on my own too, like most young people do when they get out of high school and get out of college or get out of the military, or whatever. But anyways, there was never a conversation, and I didn't even realize the power of having a 401k or an individual retirement account was back at that time. But there wasn't a conversation about, hey, these are the best stocks to buy. These companies are the wave of the future. That information, even though when I left high school was in 2002, even though the height of the internet hasn't, got to the plateau that it is today, even back then, if I was around a circle of people that were talking like that, just talking like that, and then me taking the initiative to buy the books or rent, go to the library. Back then you didn't really have digital books like that, and just start reading those kind of books and whatnot. Because back then I found my passion for reading, but I wasn't reading about things like this in regards to the wave of the economic future and whatnot. Those conversations weren't happening around me, and I wasn't even seeking to get that kind of information. But if I did, I think my life financially would be much different. I'm not going to say necessarily better, but I will say different, because I would have had access to, say, if I would have bought shares or fractions of a share of Google, Facebook, and Apple and whatnot, even in the beginning of Bitcoin and whatnot, my life would be different in that aspect and whatnot. It's just the main, and that's the main point I wanted to take away from this book today. It's just like being able to have access to the right information, right people, information, the right people, and the right mindsets. Man, that is a very dangerous weapon. You're like an economic, financial gun. I'm not even going to say guru, gun, because you're constantly, when you're reading and you're engaging in conversations, you're loading the chamber on a regular basis. Okay, you're cleaning, you're polishing your financial gun, and when you need to pull the trigger, you're pulling the trigger in regards to purchasing the right amount of stock, purchasing the right property, selling the right property, selling the right amount of stock, whatever have you. And I'm just giving it, I'm not going to act like I'm a guru on this, but I am saying that I'm just giving the basics. Now, I'm not trying to say the woulda, shoulda, couldas and whatnot, but the main purpose of this paragraph, this statement within this book, Bitcoin and Black America, is that um, being knowing what's going on in the beginning can pay off so much in the end. That is really my point. Whether you live in Texas, Florida, North Carolina, Alabama, Mississippi, California, New York, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Virginia, Maryland, D.C., Detroit, Chicago, Denver, Seattle, it doesn't matter. Portland, I could just keep, the list goes on and on. When you have access to this information and you take a risk and whatnot, then you're able, a lot of times you can change the trajectory of your future. And that's why I commend the younger people nowadays in today's society, that have so much access to this information, and they're actually implementing. You got people who work at McDonald's and work at Walmart part-time, and they're in high school or they're in college, and they're buying shares of stock or fractions of stock or fractions of Bitcoins and whatnot. And that is the thing to take into consideration, because they're like, hey, even if when I get out of school, I'm going to have access to XYZ, and they're having this conversation because they know that, especially in the African American community, they know that it will be, as the statement says. I'm going to read this last sentence. We have to put a premium on learning about finances and technology to ensure our economic survival in America. Agreed. Regardless of who's sitting in the White House, State House, Mayor's House. All that is hoopla at this juncture, at this point and this time in the United States of America. When you are putting a premium on learning about finances and technology, you're going to be okay and getting certified skilled trades and things of that nature. But still, you have to ensure that you've set up systems as a working person and a business person to where you're making money in your sleep. This one contractors I worked with in Pennsylvania, cool guy. He said with his little accent, because he was actually from Louisiana, but his wife was from Pennsylvania, so he moved to Pennsylvania. He said, "Listen here, youngin, I'm gonna tell you this. I might be working hard now, but you see I'm developing my crew. Excuse my terrible southern accent, but it is what it is. He said, I'm all about making that mailbox money for me and my honey. And that's one of them old school country sayings, but I loved it. I'm into making that old school mailbox money so for me and my honey. Meaning he's working hard now physically, but he had contractors with him to the point where he was like he didn't have to do all the work by himself, and he was building up his crew and obtaining contracts so he could work on commercial properties and residential properties and whatnot because he was an electrician and a plumber. So he had the best of both worlds, and that's that trade skill. And he did carpentry a little bit on the side, but he would hire professional contract carpenters and whatnot to get the job done. Depending on the size of the job. But he says his goal was to make. He was 42. This was a year ago. 42 years old. He said by the time he's 50, man with a plan. He said, and we talked about investments. He's like, yeah, I got the 529 plan for my kids. Me and my wife got full. We have the business 401k. We have the individual retirement accounts and whatnot, and we buy bonds and things of that nature. And we got other things that we'll put in our mutual funds and things of that nature to make sure our money. And then they got the and what is it called, the self-directed IRA. I'm not giving out financial advice, so do your homework. Self-directed IRA and whatnot, so they can utilize that because he was buying rental properties all at the same time, even though he's a contractor. So he's like, his goal was 10 years from last year. His mindset was maybe even sooner. He wants to be able to make that mailbox money, and then if he had to physically do any work, so be it. But he was working towards getting enough crews to ensure that he had enough mailbox money because that's what he wants to be able to retire on his terms, not an employer's terms, and not on Uncle Sam's terms. That's the beautiful thing about the United States. When you have the right mindset and the right fortitude, and it might take you longer than expected, but you can make things happen when you invest not only your money but your time in things that matter. All right, so that's all I wanted to say. I haven't done a rant like this in a while, but whenever I read something, and this book is by Isaiah Jackson, Bitcoin and Black America. When I read something like this that really gets me going, man, I'm telling you, and it just excites me because even though we're living in crazy times, we're living in great times at the same time because we have the opportunity to make money moves. We have the opportunity to learn so many things. We have the opportunity to just go forward and do things, and with all this access to information, you have the opportunity to live healthier lives and things of that nature too. That's another thing to take into consideration. All right, so. On that note, family, do the great 3 free things. Like, share, and subscribe. Have a great day. If you're a crypto investor like myself, stock market investor like myself, if you are an individual retirement account investor like myself, then sign up with WEBULL. Put a penny in your account. You get up to $900 worth of free stock. Sign up with Acorns. You not only can open up a stock brokerage account, but you can have an individual retirement account, so you have money investing for you for your elder years and things of that nature. And then also you can link your debit card to if you want to. This is a choice, not a must. You can link your debit card to the account, your Acorns account, and if you spend $5.50, it'll round it up to about $6. Then you have the opportunity to have that money every time you swipe your debit card to make money. That's what I like to do. Every time I swipe a card, money moves are being made. My money isn't just being spent. I'm either getting air miles, my money's going to the stock market, or I'm getting cashback rewards. That's how I utilize credit cards and debit cards because that's what I mean. Everything in this life is a transaction, and everything in this life can be a money move if you make it. All right, but that's a personal choice, and I can't do that for you. So, on that note, family, as I always say, make money moves, or you're gonna live, bro, like a fool. Take care.